Sama tiba tuya. And welcome back to the stream. It is officially after our big Super Saturday, one of the big ones. And yeah, it's the Eurovision Fam official weekly stream. I'm back, you guys. I'm back from my trip. Thank you, Augusto, for being our coverage and being such a wonderful correspondent with Benidorm. This is Short Cake ESC.
Hi, it's me, We Love Stuff. Welcome to the Eurovision Fam weekly stream. It was a big one yesterday. It was a big week, too.
Yeah. I haven't talked to you guys since Puppy Drop UMK, so we'll get to all that.
Yeah, and then like next week is also a big week. Like we are in the thick of it.
Yes.
Oof. Okay, or whatever that trending sound was on TikTok.
So
all right, so I'm gonna just hop into this right now with the articles on the site. I guess I'll start with the two I've written. Look,
yes.
She writes. She's literate. Okay, so we have one for Slovenia. Slovenia's over. EMA's done. But if you're curious about some stuff you may have seen and want a breakdown of like how things work there and that bizarre choice of format, I did do a breakdown of the artist and the songs and all that other good stuff. And you can read that on the site, link in the description box. We also had an article about Eurosong. Again, she's done, she's over. That was written by Molly. Yes, Molly wrote that.
Yeah, Molly.
And she's one of the newer members on our team. So please go ahead and give it a read, give her the love, give her the support. I think this is her first article she's done for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Molly. You're amazing.
And then I also wrote the article, Everything You Need to Know About Ukraine's National Final Vidbir 2025. I did not get into any drama, but I did go ahead and talk about
drama?
It's Vidbir, baby. I did kind of break down how the selection works, how it's a 3-stage process till we get to the actual show in next week at this point. I went over, the songs that are going to be performed, a little information about each of the artists and the acts as well. And we also talked about the the jury. Because I saw the hosts have been announced. Timur is one of the hosts. We already knew it was going to happen. I could have just
Timur. Timur.
So you can kind of see that interesting that peek into what's happening next week with Ukraine.
Yeah. So thank you, Lily, for introducing those articles. Also, you guys, we had some interviews with the Benidorm artists. So among them, we have David Afonso, we have Huve, we have Kingdom, and go ahead and check out the site to see what else we were able to talk to with the other Benidorm acts. Augusto has been, once again, so fabulous with doing our Benidorm coverage and corresponding with the artists. Hola! And it is the day after Benidorm, so I'm sure he is definitely getting the chance to relax, or at least I hope he is, because, yeah, it was phenomenal, all he was able to do.
If you want to check out his reaction to Benidorm, you can see our stream from last night. And also we did a takeover on Alicia Michelle's channel on Tuesday for the Simi 1, Thursday for Simi 2. And last night was kind of quick going over the result, but I know she wanted to do some streaming on her own channel as well, so we didn't want to hog it up too much for her. But yeah, go ahead and check all those out. Link in the description box. And I'll put it up in the cards too when I go back and edit the stream. So if you're watching this on VOD, you'll be able to just go clickety-clack. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to quote that's Eurovision, junior Eurovision song. So let's go ahead then and hop into allocation draw, because that bad boy happened.
Okay, you guys.
Do you want to take Semi 1 or Semi 2?
I'll take Semi 1. We're officially less than 100 days until Eurovision in Basel. So semifinal 1, we have the countries: Estonia, Iceland, Poland, Portugal, Slovenia, Sweden, and Ukraine will be performing in the first half of semifinal 1. Albania, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, the Netherlands, Norway, and San Marino will perform in the second half of semifinal 1.
And then voting in that semi will be Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. Nice. I don't feel like we can really go, which one's the bloodbath, which isn't. So then semi 2, we have competing Austria, Lithuania, Armenia, Montenegro, Greece, Ireland, Australia, Latvia. That's the first half. Second half is Croatia. No, that's Czechia, not Croatia. I can't read. We have Czechia, Israel, Malta, Finland, Denmark, Luxembourg, Georgia, Serbia, and then voting in that semi will be Germany, France, and the UK. So,
yeah, this is, I would say, probably the most even split semifinals we've seen in a long while.
Yeah, neither one really feels too heavily favored in either direction. But to be fair, we haven't gotten all the songs yet. And
this is historical analysis.
Yeah, like based off historical analysis, I'm looking at Semi 2's lineup.
Greece and Cyprus are going to have to fight for themselves.
I think Greece can make it, but we'll talk about Miss Greece later on.
We will.
And the semi. But yeah, looking here, I'm not too concerned about things. Hef says Montenegro is cooked. Maybe
not. We don't
know. I like the song. I like the ballad. I think that this can be elevated with staging. I have confidence. I'm not too worried about Montenegro just yet, but they are dealing with an uphill battle. Let's be completely blatant and transparent. Serbia's in here. Serbia will give him some love. Montenegro
Serbia will give him some love. Greece might.
The last one to dip. Greece might too, And
Germany,
who knows? Germany is just confused and lost in the weeds. We'll see what happens there. Malta, if she gives a good vocal, Malta will surely give this some love. I'm not worried too much about Montenegro yet, but we'll see what happens.
I'm weirdly worried about Finland because the only Scandinavian support they get is Denmark. So I know they're just like.
I don't think Finland necessarily needs Scandinavian support this year. But yeah, and then Augusta says, speaking of the semifinal draw, I also find them a little more balanced country-wise. But let's see how musically they end up in the shaping themselves to be. We'll have to see. So yeah.
That is the semifinals, you guys. Let's get into the shows.
Well, we got to do internal selections first.
Oh yeah, of course. So we have a couple artists who were internally selected, you guys. If you recognize Louane from France, she's been a pop star for a number of years. I've seen her pop up on my Spotify a couple times, and I'll be honest, I haven't done a ton of research as of yet into her discography, but I do know that she has had a number of hits, so that would be exciting to research.
Yeah, I know she's competed on some French TV shows. There was, what was it called? Ethnikós d'Estas. I'm interested to see what we're going to get. I'm hoping for some French pop, like bubblegummy French pop, like the super saccharine sweet stuff. I think that would be such a nice touch to have. And it's been such a success with them when it comes to junior, bringing that same sound to the adult contest. I think would be an interesting take because it's clear France wants to do things French and be as French as possible. And I just feel like
sugar.
Give me that super sweet. Give me some macarons. Give me I love Lauderay. Let's just go full on pastry shop. I just, I would love to see that. You're
completely right. JESC does it so well. And that's why they're so successful. And it is very girly, very sweet, very just French in a kind of superficial, artificial way. But you can lean into that very nicely. It's been missing from Eurovision. And don't let Luxembourg eat your nachos on this. Come on.
Yeah. I think, aren't they voting in the same semi?
Are they?
Luxembourg is in semi too.
They might be able to.
France is voting in semi too.
That might be a good boost.
Not for Luxembourg, good boost, but
for
France,
Luxembourg, yes.
Already in the final. I would be totally down with two dueling pop girlies, two dueling francophone pop girlies. I think that could be a lot of fun to have.
When's the last time we had that happen? The 90s or something?
Probably, maybe even earlier. Probably. So yeah, let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead now and talk about Austria, another internal selection. Hi, Jordan. Sorry. So Austria announced that they're going to be sending JJ. Do you have a cousin named JJ by any chance? Because I feel like you do.
My brother's nickname is JJ, and my friend's nickname for myself is Jay.
There we go. So,
cousin, what makes you think you have to go that far?
I felt like there was a relative of yours named JJ.
Literally my brother.
I didn't want to make too close of an assumption.
You didn't have to.
If you can't tell, the reason we're joking is because JJ is a Filipino-Austrian. And he's a contratenor, which is not a voice you hear very often.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a voice we've had at Eurovision before. Hello, Rue. Hi.
Oh, baby.
I wish Igor would come and play and say hi. If you hear like ceramic, it's because my dog found a teacup or something and he's playing with it. But hey, whatever. He'll just
Time for mischief.
do what he does. Anyways, oh my gosh.
JJ being a contratenor, I don't think I've ever heard a pop song sung by a contratenor consciously, you know?
It's My Life by Cesar from Romania, 2013.
Oh, that's contratenor.
I think that's a contratenor.
Huh,
I'm pretty contratenor. I don't. One second.
It's an iconic entry. It's My Life.
If I'm right. Yeah, contratenor.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
nice. Spot on again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Contratenor is like the highest male voice.
Incredible.
What am I doing? Right. Okay, and Austria is sending a opera song. One of the songwriters on it is Taya. So she's just getting her money from Austria, let's be honest.
Isn't Taya getting a lot of money now from like video game revenue and now?
Yeah, she did a song for a game too. Mm-hmm. She's worked with other people for Eurovision and non-Eurovision stuff.
Get your cash.
Other Eurovision acts.
Get your money.
You know, honestly, yeah. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna just click on. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm talking. Anyways, Mark says, I try to look up JJ's music, but there's literally 30 artists that call themselves JJ on Spotify. And I have no idea which one he is, which one is the right one. I don't think he's released much stuff as an artist. I think it's more like competing on TV shows than anything. Mm-hmm. So I think he was on The Voice in the UK. Is that right?
I do believe that's true. From what I understand, there was an article, I don't remember who it was written by, but they did describe him being on the show in The Voice UK.
Is The Voice UK or is it? Yeah, he was on The Voice UK the 9th season because he missed the deadline for The Voice Germany. Which same. I'm also late. Like, let's go. Very relatable.
I mean, at least he made it to TV.
Yeah.
So he knows that experience and kind of what it's like. He can not have that much of a problem navigating it.
He won't look lost in the headlights.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways.
Awesome, JJ. We'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you at Eurovision. Anyways, now it's time to talk about some results. Before we talk about Super Saturday craziness that went down as far as selecting songs go, we got to start with semifinals. So I'm going to just touch on Sweden real quick because Heat 1 of Melfest went about the way you thought it was going to go. Our qualifiers were John Lundvik and Maya Everson. They both went direct to the final. Your ones who's in that second chance, whatever we're calling it now, round, Mera Omar. How do we feel about these results?
Well, just like you said, anyone could have seen from a million miles away 5 years ago in a different country on a different planet that John Lundvik was going to win the Heat. Yeah, no matter what really the song sounded like. Tell me a single thing about the song. What's the name of it? And we understand too that Sweden has kind of like an affinity to Schlager rock, so that's why we got Kamikaze Life as well in the final. I didn't find
one second about Kamikaze Life. Suicide planes. Like I was doing my research this morning, watching result because it's like I worked, so I'm like kind of like doing my notes, doing everything else.
Yeah.
And my sister's like, "Why is this woman crashing out on stage right now?" And then I was like, it's called Kamikaze Life. And she's like, oh, okay. Makes sense. I don't know why we are calling a song that, why we're evoking that sort of imagery.
The song's about how much she's traveled.
Because
what the song is about.
Oh, so are these the divine winds that blew the Mongols off when they were trying to invade Japan back in like the 1600s? Is this what this was? I don't know.
Are we talking about Wake Island, Okinawa? Like, what are we talking about?
You went like, what are we doing here? What are we?
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
Here?
What are we doing here?
Also, that song is abysmal. It's just so.
It's theme parky. It's very theme parky.
It's bad. And then Mara Omar.
It's not the grossest thing ever. Oh, Hush Hush. Okay, what do you think about Hush Hush?
This Orientalist BS. Like, come on. I was not.
I was bopping. I hate to say it. I was bopping. I know it's not, but I was like a Pussycat Dolls like kid growing up. So the whole Orientalist pastiche, it's like ingrained within me. It's kind of like a drug. It's that I can't escape. Like it came off the street and now it's in my household and I'm worried about being found out about it, kind of a thing.
You know what? I am seeing this here from half. Sweden semi result could have been an email.
Because even the non-qualifiers were pretty obvious going to be the non-qualifiers.
Here's the thing with that. The best song I've heard at Melfest in almost a decade. Well, no, not a decade. One of the best songs we heard from Melfest in like years was Lena Henriksen's song, Robbed. She was great. I loved her. Of course she came last. Because when I listened to the playlist at work Friday morning, when the songs were released, I was like, oh, okay. Sweden's releasing the full songs now. I can just listen to this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is actually good. It's going to come dead last.
I mean, typically that's what happens, especially when you have a song that has that kind of a, I like to call it kind of like dishwasher jingle.
It kind sounds like, what I mean? It's 60s pop pastiche. I love that sound. It sounds like it's selling me soap and barbiturates. I'm down for it. Like, the Housewife's Helper. Let's rock and roll. Let's go there. But like, I like that noise. Like, yeah.
Hey, Dust.
Let's go.
For what?
I'm down. But I'm done talking about Melfest. I'm sure next week will also be just as disappointing. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Basically,
not really. Not constructively, really.
Sweden's allergic to the Swedish language. The three best songs in that semi were all the ones in Swedish, and they're all the ones that didn't qualify.
Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah. Everything that did make it through, even just by the skin of its teeth, were in English.
At this point, Sweden, just write an email. We don't need a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Running these shows are expensive.
Exactly.
Just save the money.
Emails.
Have Melfest be like an actual art show, and then send your average pop to Eurovision because it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But enough about Melfest. We can drag it for the rest of our lives.
Jeff Mans is winning. That's why I don't care.
We saw it coming as soon as we heard the rumor that he was gonna be competing. Like you find that out immediately. There's no surprise in Melfest at all.
Agreed. Need Sweden to not qualify 1 year, and they will get their act together. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for how long?
Their like Katy Perry at the gas station moment when just like cutting their hair and crying. Like they need to break down fully in order to like rehash out what it means to be in the contest, because they cannot keep bringing zero effort and doing as well as they do.
Yeah. I'm sorry. One more thing made me laugh. I have to highlight. Mark. Honestly, Melfest along with the Swedish delegation just remind me of all the CEOs in the Barbie movie. A group of older men who are telling a group of older men who are telling me what's popular instead of giving me something of quality.
A group of men who are stuck in 2007.
Yeah. Speaking of stuck in 2007, we'll get her. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there, and then the stream is going to take a turn. But
okay, we'll just touch on it real quick with Lithuania. Armalu qualified, and so did Katarsis. I'm sorry, I put my
Katarsis,
glasses on if you can't tell. So I'm having trouble seeing. I'm okay with these qualifiers. Lithuania so far, nothing has shocked me yet this year, qualification-wise.
I'm liking these heats so much. Like I keep finding songs that I just love out of these heats. And Katarsis is that was one of those big signal songs where I was given high Lithuanian art from someone so young.
Like honestly, with Lithuania, I'm really looking forward to the final. I think once we get to the final, it's going to be a solid show of 10 songs, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like. Next week is our last week heat in Lithuania, and then we get to the final. And I'm going to be kind of sad to see it go, but I think that Lithuania is just going to give us something excellent in the end. I believe they've turned a leaf. Ever since Monica Lou, they've really turned a leaf. For me, I mean, the group was also good, but for me, they're on the right path. We'll see what ends up happening though.
They have an arguable case for all the qualifiers so far in the heats. Like I could come up with something to argue for each and every one of those acts that have qualified so far, except for one act. But I was not here to review that during that week. But context clues.
We also have we also have the semifinal from Latvia, but I'm going to move that to another section just because we are going to be talking about, the actual final happening in Latvia. Let's go ahead and go on to national final results of the shows themselves. Somebody already mentioned it. We did get the secret winner from Greece. And that is, oh my gosh, Klavdia with the song Asteromáta.
So,
how are we feeling?
Heading into the show, I was like, okay, this is a national final. There are some kind of like cheap Americana songs. There's like really good entries. There's kind of some trash entries, and there's dancey entries. It ran the whole gamut for what a national final essentially is. I had two favorites. One was Vale by Evangelia, because I had a feeling that if Greece sent this song, they would get their best result out of this lineup. My other one was Asteromáta, because it just has that unique artistic Balkan quality that only Greece can really deliver. And it has a star performer who's able to put the thing on very well. Asteromáta won, and personally, I'm happier, but I'm more scared for the result.
I disagree, because I feel like when it comes to Vale, because Vale came second just by 2 points. Like it was very close between the two of them.
Yeah.
My main reason why I disagree is why I don't mind Vale. I personally, I would prefer something like Asteromáta to go through, because every national final has a Vale.
Yeah.
We've seen 3 of them so far this year.
No, that's true. That is true.
And Albania was like, nah, we're good. We're going to send this something interesting, unique, and creative. We're not going to send the World Cup song. And so Greece did the same thing. We're like, we're not going to send the World Cup song. Like every national selection has something like this in it. I don't want something that's like tossed around. Give me something that's unique to you.
Well, I mean, also when it comes to just Evangelia's music in general, it did feel on the lazier side. She has some hits. She has some really good pop numbers. This is on the weaker side of her music. Just of my personal opinion. If she wants to come back, then she definitely has a back catalog to be inspired by, to sound more unique. But yeah, Vale, it gave World Cup. A lot of national finals, even coming up, are going to give World Cup. Sweden does so even.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Hef makes a great point here, which is Albania's and Greece's national selections just shows us that we should leave the Eurovision FIFA World Cup songs in the 2010s. 2010 was the best year we had, like was the one we had the best version of that from. Like
Waka Waka, 15 years old, reading To Kill a Mockingbird in American public schools, now a freshman in high school. Like that's how old that song is.
Wow. I was okay. Jordan's dating himself. Cool. Yeah. And then another point here is from Dark Flare GC. I think what Klavdia is missing is more active staging. If they can elevate the staging, it could qualify and then do really well with the juries in the final. We've got time to rework the staging. Like, I think that the bones of the song are good. She's good. The song's good. She just, we need better staging, and I see this sailing through to the final.
Yes, we need better staging. I do kind of see it sailing through to the final, but the thing is, Greece has typically had problems with staging when they've had good songs. That just happens to them, and I'm kind of not putting a lot of money in my pot for that reason, because I have a feeling they're going to put it at risk. I do agree, though, that it was very simple this time around. You don't need a ton of staging. You can follow simple, but just please no blue hand.
No blue hand.
No blue hand.
I don't know. How would I stage this? Let me think about it. When we do like our reviews of everything later on in the season, I'll come up with some good staging. And I'll keep it to myself because I want to get paid for my staging work. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens. I think that Greece made a good choice. And I'm ready.
It was a good show.
It was a good show overall.
An amazing show, yeah.
It was a good show. It was one of the better shows we had yesterday. I know people aren't.
On Thursday.
I'm honestly looking at the top 5 in Greece. I'm not mad at any of these.
It's all women, right?
I don't know. It's a weird sentence.
Dang it, I just closed my notes, so I can't even.
It was Klavdia, Evangelia, Barbs, Dynamis, and Zonova Zon.
Okay, so all women lead.
Yeah.
Nice. Great.
So it was solid. It was a good. I think those are also the 5 best songs they had in the selection. But,
even Play It, which I didn't like heading into the show. I was like, okay, because it was done so well. Awesome.
Okay. Hef says Greece either does nothing, blue hand, or way too much. Die together for balance. The staging for Die Together was good.
Oh my god, that is so right. I'm just gonna be quoting you randomly. Hey, like I'm literally just gonna be saying that to people in America here who don't understand what that means.
And Mark is on the same page as me. I actually like Die Together staging. Maybe something similar would work.
It might.
Yeah.
I could see that turning out well.
Okay. So from Greece, we're gonna turn to EMA.
Let's do it.
All right. So I know people are upset, but Klemen won with how much time do we have left? And yeah, he's also like a person who's been like in EMA space for a while. I know he hosted 3 times, EMA 3 times. He posted like one of the interval acts a year or 2 ago was it would have been 2022. But like in 2022, one of the interval acts was all 25 of the artists who've won EMA, or all the artists who represented Slovenia.
And that was nice. It was really cool
to watch
him do that.
And this morning, did you see what he posted this morning on YouTube?
I did not. What was
he did like a little homage of him dressed because he's an impressionist, and like he does a lot of parodies and stuff. And he did one of all 25 of the winners, or all 24 of the winners so far for this century at Eurovision. So it's like, hey, he's got a passion in the contest. As far as the song goes, it's not bad. It's a nice ballad. I thought the staging was very effective. It really suits the song and had some interesting takes of where you can take a simple ballad like this. It's just about dying children. I don't want to listen to a song about a kid dying.
I liked him upside down. That was cool. The song has the song, it's not ugly to listen to, you know? It's like when it's on, you don't immediately just like cringe at the first thing you hear. You're kind of leaning into the story a little bit, but it is kind of jarring as a subject matter to bring to Eurovision. It's not typically that we would get something like this unless you were like Germany 2018 and that was kind of like the gist of your song.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Michael Schulte, something along those lines. It's not typical that we would get it. He did very well. That was 7 years ago now. I don't necessarily see this song being as competitive for a reason being that the melody is not quite memorable to me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just my thought on the composition so far. I have had no time to grow with it yet because I've honestly been really bad at my EMA homework.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's talk about what could have been. We could have gotten July Jones.
We could have.
And I would have preferred that greatly
I
would reasons.
I would have preferred it as well.
Many.
Is it July Jones's best song? No.
No.
Is it a great song? Not necessarily. Would it have needed a revamp? Yes, but would it have been Eurovision ready? More so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Half with New Religion is a K-pop song. I actually really needed this song for Eurovision. Okay, I'm sorry. Odd space like there.
We didn't get it. I'm sorry.
I mean, she's written for K-pop. She's written for BTS, so it makes sense. Also,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like side note. To be fair, Slovenia has sent K-pop before. Miss Leah Stark was straight up K-pop.
Oh yeah, huh?
Only in Slovenia, and like
that was post 2016 K-pop for sure.
And like, this is my point. Like, I'm like, when I say Slovenia is an innovator at Eurovision, typically, I mean it. Like, they said stuff. Like, they're one of the first countries to try a genre that we haven't seen in the contest before. And I think that they tend to be pretty creative with it.
I would agree because I mean after Leah Cirque was when they gave us Zala Gasper, and then we got 2 years of Christianity, and then sex, and then witches, and now dead family members.
I mean, I don't.
They're not scared to do things different. They're really not.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at other comments here. This is the best summary because this is it. I've hit it on the nose, hit it on the head. July Jones and Klemen is basically Omar and Raven from 2017.
Cows.
I love cows. I had that as my alert sound when people texted me for the longest time. Cows. I should do it again. That was a good text alert.
You should, yeah. I support.
No, it's like, oh, we have a young woman giving us something fresh and interesting and a problematic man. Let's choose the problematic man.
I mean, it sucks when they're problematic and they're singing about like sad stuff in their life. It's just what Eurovision? Like, is this for Eurovision?
Ariana winning son. I'm shocked it wasn't even close.
Here's the thing, right?
I'm not
like 2/3 of the televote.
Like, it wasn't even close. Like, he got 2/3 of the televote. He's also more famous than July Jones is in Slovenia. So it makes sense, like, why the public would vote that way. I think that we should get rid of super finals. Personally.
And I don't like the bait and switch of 100% jury to move into 100% telly for the super final.
That's even worse. I need people to stop getting super finals. I want to talk, because we didn't talk about any of the songs because you weren't here last week. I want to just talk about some other stuff that happened. I thought it was an overall good show. Personally, I think that it was a much better national final, song-wise, than we've gotten from a lot of countries this year. I loved Kiki. She was great.
Kiki was nice.
I also like her other stuff.
I didn't really clock her to begin with, but the performance was really, really engaging. Yeah, nice.
Oh no, I listened to her whole past discography because I really liked the song. I liked or however you say it. When I was listening to them last week, and I was like, I wonder what else she's done. Love her back discography. She's so interesting, and like, she makes the kind of music I really enjoy outside of like Eurovision, which is just quirky, kind of strange stuff.
Yeah.
So she was fab. Who else did I like? I liked most of them. Sven giving us some throat singing. Oh, that absolutely was arresting. That was so good. I loved every second of it. I will hear no slander.
Come back, do that again. Come back, do that again. Because everyone stopped to watch. Everybody. Ciao. Ciao is iconic. I don't care.
He has a glass jar. I have to take it from him. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at other stuff that we had. Mm-hmm. Even outside of those, like, I mean, even the songs that kind of flopped live, I thought they were decent.
It was a well put together show. It was definitely one I tuned into for a longer period of time than another one I was watching at the same time. So
yeah, and I think that's kind of like intervals were also good. Philip has grown so much in the last 3 years. He's like a giant now. Astrid and the Scandals, Touche, that was fun. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Frederick's Dead was kind of weird, but I liked it.
It gave me that certain kind of theater kid.
It was giving theater kid. I'm just curious, because when I was listening to all of the songs, I was like, I think Jordan's gonna like Grace.
I didn't dislike it. I think I need time to grow. It wasn't that strong of an impression in just like the couple seconds that I heard it. I didn't listen to the full stage thing. I had to toggle, but I'm definitely going back to it because there's just something about it that's just like interesting. I don't know.
When I heard it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be Jordan's favorite from the selection.
I mean, probably because you know me, like I got sleepers. There are sleepers in these shows, and sometimes the sleepers by the end of May, it's just like that's all I'm popping from that NF. It depends. We'll see. But Grace, yeah, I'm definitely gonna stew with it.
Yeah. Other than that, that was that result. Let's talk about Spain. Because Spain's going to be sending Melody with Esa Diva.
Yes.
Augusto, you do not need to talk in the chat. All right, I know you're here. Oh, Carmen, I'm sorry. Real quick, Carmen did bring it up too. Ciao. Ciao was also a little bop.
Ciao. I liked Ciao. Ciao was fun. It's a lot simpler than I typically would like, but it was fun, and I'm with it.
So, Spain is going to be sending Esa Diva by Melody. I love her. She's fabulous. Adore Melody. She's great. Yeah. The song, though.
So, you guys, there's a specific kind of feeling when your throat shuts down when someone puts you in like a specific hold called like a half Nelson. And what Benidorm felt like toward the end of the show is something kind of like a half Nelson where you feel kind of like your throat collapse into itself. The results I found kind of dire, and that's because the show, it kind of greatly disappointed me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk about this.
She's a good performer.
She's an excellent performer. She's great. It's giving Shady Lady. What year is it?
That's the issue. I said we're going to bring up 2007 again later. Oh, Shady Lady was 2008 and should have won in 2008. But that was 2008. I mean, to be fair, she did get second place in 2009 at the national final in Spain and only lost because of the tiebreak rule.
Oh, so it really could have been her, but it was La Noche para mí.
Which, you know, hey. I'm going to read the songwriters on the song for you.
Please do.
Joy Deb.
Yes.
Peter Bostrom.
Yeah.
Thomas Geeson. And then we have the Spaniards who are on it. Juan Suero. Gosh. Alberto Lorite. And then Melody.
It's not bad, but it's so Swedish. It is such a
Swedish sound. It sounds like a Swedish pastiche, and we just got done talking crap about Melfest.
Does this represent like the cool off turn in Benidorm when it goes from like a hot, super poppy national final full of stuff that people love into results oriented, because Sweden is results oriented and this is a very Swedish sounding song, you know? That's my question.
Peter Hadich. Spaniards still hasn't realized that this is flopping.
Okay, can you name a Spaniard in the Euro fandom who listens? You could say a lot of things about how Spain votes for their entries, but one thing is that they will be stubborn whether or not they have reason to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that about them sometimes because it's proved us wrong in a year. Like it's proved us wrong before. Chanel. But it is not the frame of logic to use going forward in every case. They had numbers this year that they could have selected to be more artistically prevalent. They chose a homunculus of Eurovision isms. Yeah.
Clearly Spain doesn't want to win Eurovision anymore. Clearly.
I don't think so.
Well, you know what? This is giving something Sweden would do. Because Sweden likes to try to say they want to win Eurovision all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a Swedish reject. So I think they want to win, but they want to win with the wrong approach.
They want to win with the Swedish approach. When they need to go back to their cousin, Italy, and do the San Remo approach again. Because, come on, girl.
Do the Portuguese approach, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Just give us quality. Just give us quality songs.
I cannot wait to talk about FDC. I cannot wait. That's not today's topic, but I cannot wait. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
The way Ukraine and Portugal drop the same day and save the season for me.
No, they're just holding hands together right now. They've been besties on the opposite sides of Europe.
They're like, this is for Lily. This bond between us is for her and only her.
It's like the daily shipment of food or like the yearly shipment of food that we get in Antarctica. You know, it's like we're not fed this nicely this often.
Okay. Now, questions, because I'm starting to see people bring up other songs.
Okay.
What would you have picked if it was Jordan, you are in charge of Spain, you are choosing what Spain is sending to Eurovision?
Just completely ambivalently, no guidelines outside of my own opinion.
Yes.
La Chispa, Artista de Llorar.
You know what? Solid choice.
Mm-hmm.
Mel, for me.
Solid.
I thought she was great. I love a tooth gap.
She's so fun. She was the most fun up there.
Just seeing her made me happy. Mm-hmm. And she put on a great show, great vocal, great performance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to see.
I just wish her song didn't sound like it was written on a Game Boy.
That is true. Aria winning Sun. All right, I'll say it. I think of the final songs. I'm a Queen. Should have won.
She had it. You know, she had it within her to win.
And then Yef says VIP or I'm a Queen.
I want to talk about VIP a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's address that. He did well. He performed it nicely. The choreography was iconic. I did believe the stage was a little dark, and I don't feel like
the
this
stage
performance
was giving Chuck E. Cheese to me.
Yeah, like, Chuck E. Cheese. No, that's the perfect way to describe that.
Meets the Shadow Man from meets the Shadow Man song "Friends on the Other Side" from Princess and the Frog. That's what the staging was to me.
Mm-hmm.
I like the black light makeup. I thought it was kind of fun.
He did very well. My issue is, would this have been constructed in this way if it weren't for Mahmoud Tutagold? You know, about it.
I heard whispers you had this take. I heard about this take from you from someone else. So I'm glad you're bringing it up. Yeah. Because it was giving Tutagold. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. If other people want to look at Mahmoud and what he does at, like, you know, San Remo and go, you know what? Italy doesn't want to send it. We'll just do a pastiche of this. I'm fine with it. Because Mahmoud's a genius. Whatever is going on in that boy's head, flawless.
And VIP wasn't bad. It was done well. He won the jury. I see why he won the jury, but I don't feel like I can connect with it because that signature is still fresh in my mind. Basically.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do understand why he won the jury.
Yeah. Peter said that Mel was such a surprise for me. Me too.
She ate that.
I could not in studio. to be fair, in studio, I didn't like anything, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But like live, I ended up liking most of it. I think that Benidorm Fest really elevated this. Are You Winning Son? I would have picked Me Gustas too, regardless of the vocals. The performance was decent enough, and the staging was great.
It's a cute pop number.
Too is such an earworm. I have had that song stuck in my head all week long. I've just been like sitting at work, I'm like, Me Gustas too, like just all day at work.
Like, Benidorm, lean into that. Like, lean into your like soft, sweet Spanish pop. It's nice. Noche entera. Like, come on, you know this sound. Do it.
I mean, and then Mark, real quick, says what we are all thinking all the time. I just want to look at my mood, period. He is a beautiful man.
It's like, I know he smells like cinnamon. I'm sorry.
I'm just, you know what? Okay, Jordan. Okay.
This can't be the 4th year in a row where we just fawn over Mahmood at some point. Like, this is so
I think
frequent.
we have to. I think that at this point, that's what the people come here for, is fawning over Mahmood.
He's hosting San Remo covers night, by the way, so we'll see him this year.
Also, one more thing.
That was, oh my God, I was living, Peter.
Rigoberta Bandini has to come back next year with her 30 Grandmas, period. She looks great. I loved her styling. I also like Mama a lot. I love the song yesterday. She looked like the Lady Miss, what was it? The Lady Miss Magenta here, aka the vocalist from the band that I cannot remember the name of all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that band? Groove is in the Heart is the name of the song I'm thinking of now. Yeah.
Rigoberta, come back, girl, because she can do it. She can win this thing. We've seen it demonstrated.
Yeah. So we're not done with results from last night because we got to talk about Latvia. And we use Latvia to kind of work our way into talking about what's happening next week. Mm-hmm. So,
we also have Belgium as well.
Oh my God, we do. We'll talk about Belgium first. I totally held Belgium. They only had one choice, as far as I'm concerned, and that was Strobe Lights with Sebastian. Because that was a mess.
Let's talk about the Belgian selection. So this is the first time Belgium has had a selection since Gustav. So it's actually not been that long, but Red Sebastian won with Strobe Lights. What are your thoughts?
I think it's too soon to send a song like this. Next year would have been a better year. I think it's like living in a similar space stylistically as the Code for me. Mm-hmm. It's a similar kind of like soundscapey area. Mm-hmm. But it was the only thing that was performed decently yesterday. Mm-hmm. And that was staged competently yesterday. It was the best overall package that they had.
I agree with that. I agree it was the best overall package that they had. I am kind of at a loss because personally, the only song I could see going to Eurovision and me having the utmost respect for it as a composition was Désolé by Mentissa. I had a lot of heart put into that entry, and I'm kind of sad that we didn't get it, but it was a flawless vocal performance from what I heard of Strobe Lights. And he needs to pick up his energy. He needs to lean into just kind of the party vibe of the song more. And also the song Cotton Candy, like the phrase Cotton Candy Haze, it makes me so violent. Like I don't like that lyric at all.
It was not a good
like I would be a lot less alarmed by the entire thing if it weren't for that singular lyric. But you know what? We don't get what we want in Eurovision. That's just being a fan in this space.
Aria Winning Sun says, why did Désolé have negative staging? Why did they not go full Janelle Monáe like it warranted? I was big mad. I think we were all big mad.
It looked like the funeral scene in Steel Magnolias. It's just like, why are we all dressed like so? Why are we in mourning?
Now I want to watch Steel Magnolias. I'm sorry.
Beautiful film.
Love that
American
movie.
cinema, but yeah.
Elodie
It
says
was too dark.
Too dark. Too dark. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Strobe lights is like a mix of Unforgettable and The Code. Staging is like a Temu version of Luke Tell. And you know what? I can't disagree. I cannot disagree.
I can't disagree either, but he has time. And there's plenty of time between now and the official show in May. Belgium has money. I say with some reservation. But they have, like, if they can lean into the strobe lights, and it's a lot less, because Belgium's stage was so awkward, and that was, I'm sorry, Belgium had one of the funniest shows ever, quality-wise. Elodie says, I was the biggest strobe lights hater, but the performance made me respect it. It was one of the best of the night, but Grace was everything. Die crying. I love Grace. Grace was fun. The staging was Lin-Manuel Miranda, but...
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
It has that, like, fake Boricua flavor, but... But
okay.
I had fun.
Maria Winning Sun. Also, something to note, Grace Pull Up had less energy than the preview performance.
It did. She was more stiff.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was the costuming, because she looked stiff.
And then Mark does bring up another wonderful point here, which isn't wonderful
Mm-hmm.
at all. But Mark says, I see a lot of hate going towards Red Sebastian's way.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with Gustav too. It sucks that this fandom always has an issue with gay men they don't find conventionally attractive.
Gay men are toxic. They can be extremely, extremely toxic. And it will be the method in which Red Sebastian displays his queerness that they're going to attack, which is sad, because we're headed into a world now where we need to be more united as a society and more expressive about what makes us different. Red Sebastian is able to do that, and that's going to be a big challenge for Eurovision for him. I have a lot of critiques about the Belgian entry and the song, but that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, my issues are all solely with, I think this song is in a space that is not where I would go this year, just because it feels like you're trying to capture. We just compared it to Luke Telk visually, which is from last year, and The Code, which is a winner from last year. You're taking two things that were really popular last year, and that's like your visual and part of your sonic identity with the thing. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing necessarily, but it's just like, I wouldn't necessarily do this now. I would give it a year or two before I would go with something like this if I was the one picking. But also basing everything off of last night, he was their only option.
The televote landslide made sense, you guys. It just made sense. You look at the lineup and see how lazily everything else was done, and you really appreciate the amount of effort that was put in so far. But there's a lot of time left too. It's
just like, just with the way things went down last night, this one deserved to win. And if the fandom wants to fight me on that, I can tussle.
Then we just turn the song up. Like, that's it.
There we go. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's move on to talking about Latvia, because we've been at this for 50 minutes and we got so much more to go through. You guys are ready for a marathon stream?
Exquisite, Latvia.
Oh, Latvia.
Oh my god.
The way that Latvia has one of the strongest selections this year.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
So we got 10 qualifiers. I'll just say the qualifiers' names because I'm not going through all of them. I just kind of wish, side note, just either do a final of all 20 songs or do 2 semifinals. Because doing this one semi, what's the point? You know what I mean? But hey, I guess you don't have enough money for 3 shows. Cut the budget and just make one show.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we have making it to the final Tepat with, I'm not going to say the names of the songs, you just say the artist. Tepat, Siti Zini, Amelia, Bel Tempo, and Legs Dina, Palu, the Ludwig, Chris Noah, Tatomaitas, Synergia, and Marcus Riva are all in the final. So how are we feeling? Because I feel like I got most of what I wanted.
I lost one song, but I am okay with all of who did qualify bar one.
I think we are in the same
happy.
headspace. What's the one song you lost that you would have liked to have?
Tom's Kaldarakis, Domayu Tunats, but that's just because I love a wintry ballad.
Okay, for me, it was Cobra.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
That was the one I would have taken. Now, I'm curious, which one would you have gotten rid of?
It would probably be the one with like all the beige and like the oil skin.
Marcus?
Oh, baby. I do admire how he doesn't give up. Like, he's consistent with the quality of music he brings to Supernova. He's consistent with the energy that he brings and the fact that he comes to the conclusion that he comes with a unique sound. I honor his tenacity.
I would love to have Marcus team up with. No, I want Marcus to team up with Symphonics. Give Marcus, go buy a Symphonic song, okay? Then you can show back up and wow us. Because I'm not opposed to you going to Eurovision. I'm opposed to what you're bringing to Supernova.
Yeah. You're talented. You're clearly talented on stage.
You have bangers you release as singles outside of the Supernova season. Like, I like you as an artist, but just every time Supernova rolls around, it's like, what are we doing, Marcus? One day he's going to make it to Eurovision, and when that happens, I'm going to cheer for him. I'm going to be very happy for him. Mm-hmm. But where we're at right now,
what do you think you're still doing? Because like now Latvia has really stepped up their game. Now there is no room for filler. Everyone is fighting for blood now. So what are you coming here with your pants down? We need to. If we're going,
opposed to coming there with his pants down.
But that's the kind of thing he's leaning into. It's not. He's not spending more time in the stew. You know, we're spending less time in the studio, more time
in the gym.
More time at the gym. Yeah. Come on, give us a better song. If it's the Eurovision Song Contest, not the pretty man with his shirt off and oiled body contest. Because you know what? There's plenty of those.
But you know what? He did have his biceps out. So once again, Europe is blinded by some biceps. I'm telling you, my bicep theory is accurate. And I firmly believe that one day you'll all come to appreciate the unified theory of biceps. So that being said, let's talk about things we liked. I'm so happy. We're going to just have to pick two here because we've got a lot more stuff to cover. Mm-hmm. What is the first one you want to pick as like your favorite? Doesn't necessarily have to be what you think Latvia should send, but what do you think? What was your favorite or one of your favorites?
So I'm even surprised that I'm saying this because it's not really one that I was planning on talking about before yesterday, but Tautu Metas Burman Laimi.
They were good.
It's just like that's what it feels like to be in the forest surrounded by nothing but just like enchanted creatures.
Yes, it was magical. My biggest issue is so small. Mm-hmm. I want head mics on them. Get rid of the hand mics. Mm-hmm. Get rid of those. I just want your hands to be free. Uh-huh. And then perfect, flawless. Check that off.
Divine feminine. It's so beautiful.
It's excellent. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and say one of my picks is going to be Tibet with Sadziot.
Oh baby, so good.
That was so good live.
Yeah.
Oh my! Like number one, I was ready. I love it in studio. I thought it was amazing in the studio. Live.
Yeah.
Yes, I was worried that was great. That was amazing live. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It was so artful. It was so put together delicately, but it had impact too. I really loved it. My other pick, I think, and this is also not one that I was planning on really talking about, but The Water, Beltempo and Legstina.
Just say it. We already loved the songs in studio. In studio, we were already there. We get that live. It's a vibe. It's a mood.
It jumps so high for me. So high.
It's like this is such a mood. This is such a vibe. This is so cool. You know, it's like my favorite song of the season. You cannot have me not hype that one up. Like
it opened to me. Mm-hmm. Loved it.
It's so good. Mm-hmm. Like it's so good, and it's like I don't know how that would do at Eurovision, to be 100% honest. But
I
it's a
mean, we
mood.
see sometimes this extremely soft but impactful lyrically song do well. If I'm referring to like Sister, you know, Iceland.
Yeah,
That's the closest comparison
Sebi,
I have off the top of my head. Off the top of my
Sebi,
head. Sebi? Yes, Sebi. Exactly. Sebi worked. By the way, guys,
yeah.
I was referring to Sister, Iceland Sister 2022, not Germany 2019. I'm tired. I'm not referring to that.
I still think they should have kept the lesbian staging. At least it was
Yeah.
interesting.
The Google images lesbians.
Oh man.
No,
I
19
wonder what the Google
that was
search
a year.
was. It wasn't lesbians. What was the Google search?
Someone proved that it was the Google search for lesbians. I remember they proved it. I
Okay,
feel bad
I'm
for those
sorry.
girls. They're gonna be dragged for all time. Anyways,
Oh no.
so yeah, Latvia, awesome job, you guys. You have a ton of options. You have a billion options, basically. Do it. Do the job. Do the job. There's, I think, 2 songs in there that I would be against you picking.
Peter says, I didn't like Palu, just Cobra instead of her would have been good. Okay.
She was a little
I don't
absurd.
mind.
A little
Yeah.
absurd, but not too bad. It was fine-ish, but loud.
Dark Flora GC says, I'm so happy Synergia made it through because it's so pretty. It is. It worked better for me live than it did in studio, I think. Maybe it's just because I saw a cello and was like, yes. Okay. And also says Supernova is so good this year. I love so many of their songs. Peter Hadich, The Water Live is such a vibe. 1,000% agree. Mark, The Water got through. Could not have been happier.
As it should.
Could not have been happier with that. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily what Latvia should send, but I want them to send it. I don't know. It's like, to me, I think what happened was Latvia just needed to qualify. And now we have this floodgate of greatness that happened right afterwards, you know? And like, I want to keep us with this energy because that should be rewarded. You know, you're given, like, this is a solid selection. Like, we have songs we lost that we still vibe with. And it's like, we only get 10 in the final. But yeah, I think it
did not feel like the heat one of Melfest, that's for sure.
No, it did not. And that's saying something. Sweden, if Latvia is upstaging you.
Really, like, pick your ass off the ground.
Yeah. Mark, I honestly think Talmaitis had the best staging. It's not my favorite of the songs, but I still think that this would stand out. That or maybe City Zinni, I think would be best. Honestly, City Zinni surprised me.
Oh my god, it was good. It was very good. It
was good.
Very different.
It was totally different than what I was expecting to hear from them when we got the studio cuts and then we got the staging. It just felt like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pure fun. And they've really improved their performance aspect quality over the years. Like, you could tell that they've grown a number. And it sounds like a Eastern European club banger, you know?
Yeah.
It just has that, like, Eastern European, like, unce about it. If Latvia decides to send it, I would not be mad.
Boz J says, I really am afraid because the top 3 of the televote was Emilia, Marcus, and Chris Noah.
Really? Well, we didn't really talk about Emilia or Chris because
Emilia was fine.
She was fine. Chris was fine.
Chris, here's the thing. I like Chris's other songs more than Romance is Dead. I think Romance is Dead was better live than I was anticipating it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I like his back catalog way more than this. And I don't dislike Romance is Dead. I think it's okay. But like, as far as like his other stuff goes, it's better. It's like Marcus Rita. His other stuff outside of Supernova is way better. Yeah. But yeah, no, I won't personal taste. I do prefer Chris's music, anyways. But yeah.
All I'm gonna say, Latvia has options. They got options, baby.
Latvia does have options. Elodie says, Marcus, they voted with their eyes again. Again, my bicep theory continues.
Jota Cabello in Spain.
Anyways,
I might
we'll
do a
see where
video
Latvia goes
at some point on this impact on the contest because, like, like literally just like look past the bot. This isn't my job. That's not my job.
Not your job. I guess we can talk about Malta real fast because there's not much to say about Malta.
Malta! I've been waiting. I've been waiting for so long.
We gotta
MESC never change. Never change.
Just pick a couple of songs from Malta and we'll move on because I don't have much
Wait,
to say
okay.
about Malta.
Wait, are they show next year or the semifinal is correct?
Semifinals are next week and then the finals on Saturday. It's all 1 week like Benidorm Fest was.
Yeah. You go ahead and pick one first. Okay, how many do we want to pick to talk about?
I only have one song I want to talk about in Malta.
Okay, I'll pick two then. I'll just do two. So go ahead. Which one are you gonna talk about?
think that Malta should just serve us some cont. As far as I'm concerned at this point, because at least it would stand out.
Like I love how cunt means like singing in Maltese, and during the chorus she's just. I love it. She's so silly. She's so silly, and like you know, she would be the best
and she's
at
hot.
Eurovision.
Like,
she's
come
hot.
on. No, let me tell you another side of this.
Pure sex appeal.
A coworker of mine asked me, "Have you heard that song from Malta this week?" He literally said that to me. And you know what song he was talking about?
Do re mi fa so so so.
Yes.
I don't understand where she was with, because like I mean Mariana has always come to MESC with the hardest punching songs that you've ever heard, but this Malta, if you want a crazy result, you need to send it. Mariana Conte will have a very iconic performance. People don't even know that. They don't even know that because Malta can just show up with money all of a sudden, you know?
I mean, she's just, as far as I'm concerned, this is what we should do. You want to go ahead and say one of yours, or your two, I guess?
So one of my two that I would like to talk about, because I think I'm probably going to just revive my own Eurovision channel just to talk about the Maltese selection even, but Adria Twins. Oh, beautiful kind of.
They do sound good.
Asian soap opera ballad. I'm sorry, Asian soap opera ballad, but that might be why I like it. That is my first song. It is not quite melodically that strong, but it is extremely pleasant to listen to. My favorite song in MESC this year is Marie Claire Wildflower.
Okay.
She was my favorite last year with Fading, Untouchable this year just as well. Wildflower it's very simple. It's like soulful, kind of moving in a gospel-y direction, kind of Swedishy, only a little Swedishy. The piano's very nice. It's simple. It's a ballad, and it's God, it just fills my soul to hear. But yeah, that is my favorite in MESC. It's not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I cry. I cry every day.
It's just one of those things where I don't think anything really would qualify. You know what I mean? I'm in this kind of space where I'm like, is anything going to really qualify? At least with Kant, it would cut through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, then it's going to have a chance at it. For Cantera said, I'm sorry, Dark Flare. Yeah, that's Dark Flare. I think I called you Dark Flora before. I'm sorry. Dark Flare GC says, Cantera is the one I want. We need a strong folk song at Eurovision. I agree we need a strong folk song, but like I don't know if this is necessarily the folk song I would go with. It's
giving like Donkey Kong main menu screen. Like
oh my
gosh. I understand why people like it. I understand that like we don't get Maltese folk at all, and that would be something very special. I get that, but it's like a gif of a song, and I find it so bafflingly theatrically simple to listen to that I can't quite get with it.
Okay.
That's just me. But we haven't really seen the lives pretty much yet, just the showcases.
And then Dark Flare GC says, will the EBU let her serve Kant? I think so, because
how the hell are they going to cut that? How the hell would they even cut that? She's not
singing English.
It's Maltese. It's a Maltese word. We're learning Maltese, okay?
Yeah, we're doing vocab lessons.
and the music scale do re mi fa so, which sounded like the correct lineup of how it goes. It's educational. Yeah.
She's out here teaching the children how to do music and how to serve.
Mm-hmm. And that's her secret that we should know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, Malta. Come on. Like,
so next week, yeah, they're all performing. They're all gonna serve.
Yeah.
There's gonna be can't serving. So.
Right.
I love you, Malta. Thank you.
What about Whistleblower? Faux show.
I love how messy Whistleblower is. I love how Haley as a party just came back and is just like, I'm a snitch. Like, I will rat your ass out if I feel like it. I love it. I love how messy it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh Haley, it's a party.
And don't dare to ignore. I cannot say this, but I'm going to try my best here. La la ratataka kk la la rataka ka boo.
Okay, my closing thought on that song. There's this restaurant in the United States called Rainforest Cafe, you guys. There's this restaurant called Rainforest Cafe, where it's basically just like a building cosplaying what it's like to be in like a Mayan Mexican rainforest. It has a lot of fake animals, fake storm sounds, and it's nice. It's like a good experience. I recommend their coconut shrimp. But if you ever go to the States and you find a Rainforest Cafe, just think about this song as you ask the host to seat you. You know, Lily, you know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. But yeah, it's very rainforesty, fun, theatrical Donkey Kong. Like it's great. It's great for kids. It's awesome for kids. I'm sorry. That's enough. That is enough.
No. 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 Oh my gosh.
I mean, I wouldn't really be mad if they sent it, is the thing, because it is fun. It is fun.
1 second, I have to just pop out for a sec. I'll be right back, I promise. Try and entertain them.
Okay. All right. So as long as Lily's out, I think I'm just gonna talk to you guys a little bit about the fact that MESC this year, they have a number of, I would say, kind of like vocal forward dancey songs too, because we have Heaven Sent and Juno, which kind of follow the same playbook. And I understand that Heaven Sent is one of kind of the more competitive ones at the moment. I like it. And I also like Juno, but both of them kind of just feel like they're lacking a significant, I would say, non-pastiche disco quality. We're using that word a lot in the stream, I'm noticing. But I don't mind it, and I feel like it could be a good party vibe for Malta if it picks one of them. But I don't really feel like I would walk away from the year feeling that it was particularly that unique.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm talking about like
I heard you.
Juno, that headspace that Malta's in right now.
Here's the problem. When you say Juno, I just think of a Sabrina Carpenter song right now. But yeah, no. I think that...
Who call you Juno? Who?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Like, God, this is just full of my outbursts today, but...
Anyways, Malta has a few options. I think that no matter what, it is going to be an uphill battle for them to qualify this year. Actually, everything's really beige this year, so maybe they'll just... Who knows where my thought process was going there. But yeah, we'll see where Malta ends up picking, and yeah.
And so, yeah, that's Malta, everyone. Where should we go next?
Let's take a trip to... let's take a trip somewhere we've already been, and then we'll wrap it up with the 2 ones that we haven't been to yet. So let's go to Finland with UMK. Another selection that's solid.
So you guys, I would have reacted so boldly right after finding out that we lost the song at UMK, because that was one of the most train wreckiest
annoying
fallouts I've ever seen in a national selection this year from UMK, surprisingly, because they are typically very polished, very together with it. I was not expecting to see this big of a fallout from them.
Honestly, I'm glad it's gone, not only because the person's trash who was, causing the disqualification to occur, but also because that was the worst song in the selection.
It was kind of like anxiety inducing to listen to. Like I couldn't listen to it and feel comfortable for a number of reasons. And just to find out that like by the time the scandal had occurred, they just completely liquidated the band's company and the band. That was so much to read in like a single sentence. But
Honestly,
UMK, they're no longer in the lineup, so
you know what? As far as I'm concerned, that's how you handle that situation. Just everything gets shut down. We're done.
And they did. They were very prompt with it. They said no BS. We're just gonna cut our losses now. And that was the end of
that was the end of that.
What are they called? One Morning Left? Something like that? Okay.
Yeah.
One Morning Left.
So we have to pick 2 songs from UMK because we've discussed UMK before.
We have.
What 2 songs do you want to choose? Or what's your first song you want to choose?
I'll start with Nelly Matula, Hita Minhautan.
Okay.
It's just sweet, fun, girly pop. And like the message is so uncommon. It's saying like, hey, like you don't always have to be pushing yourself so hard. You could just exist. And it was freeing to listen to. It's so airy. The melody is so catchy. This is the kind of song that could have at any point been my winner from like 2015 to 2020. It just has that wholesomeness to it that I adore. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, good. I like that one. It's not one of my picks, but I think the message of it is just also really important to have because instead of like striving for perfection, you're striving for being fine. And I think that more people need to listen to that and hear that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It will make a lot of people happier. My first pick I'm gonna go with is gonna be controversial because it's not the number 1 choice. Ikoma by Erica Bickman.
Okay. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
We love a horny hot lady. What can I say?
And one who's like not scared to like show so much of her body in the shots, and for it to be so kind of like lewd direction, but not explicitly distasteful. You know what I mean?
I think
it was
she
delivered
goes
so well.
I think she goes so lewd and so distasteful that it just becomes art again. It's like that horseshoe theory of it.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's how I would best describe it. Yeah.
It goes so lewd, so there that it then just crosses back over to being, oh, this is wholesome. You know what I mean? It's like one of those ones where it's like hyper.
And Finland needs to send a woman again. They because ever since UMK has had this like big dramatic revamp, when's the last time they sent a woman for us?
That's true.
Was it 2017?
Let me do math.
No, 18. I think Sara Alto. That was the last time they
True.
sent a woman. Just a woman.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
With that said, I do see this doing well at Eurovision. I do see this having mass appeal no matter which semifinal it's in, and getting to the final and getting a good result in the final. This is Finland's space, exclusively Finland's space.
Yeah. So what would be your second pick?
My second pick, well, I mean, you brought up Ikkoma. That was going to be my second pick.
Oh,
but my second
that's your
pick
second
now,
pick. We just focus on it.
No, that's all right, because I do
Okay.
want to highlight Goldilocks Made Of.
That was my first. That's my number 1. So we're good. We high-minded.
What the hell is going on? It's not super aggressive of a song. It's just funky, it's bouncy, it's bassy.
It's so much fun.
What is happening? Like,
it's
what is
so
happening?
good. It's so good.
It's so simple, but it's so effective.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I adore it. Mark says, cannot stop listening to Made Of. Also, Goldilocks discography is great too. I don't know what is in Finland, but sorry. I don't know if it's what Finland should pick though. It doesn't punch like Erica or Nelly. You know what? I get it.
It doesn't need it.
It doesn't need it. Peter Hodich says Made Of is such an earworm. Again, I think they're but like Finland. Baby Finland. one of these three ladies, please.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like,
Yeah.
they are, but it's such a good national final, too.
It is. I mean, even the ones that we didn't talk about, like Nightmares, that is a respectable Finnish entry. It is.
Yes.
I mean, is it 2009-ish? Yeah. But, like, I'm with it. I'm with it. I can go with it. Aina, very pretty ballad. The only song that I have no emotional connection to, I would say, is Sekasin, because it's just there. But there's always a UMK song that's just there.
Someone has to be the just there.
Yeah, someone has to be the just there song.
Yeah, no. Who else we have? Peter Hadich says, Made of is such an earworm. Diego Rodriguez says, Goldilocks is my only download from the selection. Okay.
Out of nowhere, it's the strongest. Out of nowhere, it's just so good.
I think for me, it's just so good. At least, hearing 10 seconds of it and was like, this is going to be on the playlist. Is so true. 100% agree. What are you chewing on, you little? Hold on.
It needs so little to be so up front and center. I think that's kind of UMK. That's their like caveat with UMK. They try to be always super to the front, always extremely impactful, use the 3 minutes to the most. This is just 3 minutes of chill, good music.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see where we're going to go with UMK this year.
Me too.
And UMK, next week we will have a special guest joining us.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I got a request because of UMK.
Stay tuned, you guys.
We'll see where that goes. All right, let's go ahead and I guess talk about the last two. Who do we want to talk about first? Ireland or Ukraine? Because this is like a tale of two countries.
I want to talk about Ireland first because I'm honestly not that schooled on the entries. I haven't listened deeply yet to them. I've only listened passively. So let's talk about that one because Ukraine I have a bit more edge on.
Okay. When it comes to Ireland, qualifying, Ireland, you did it, baby. You did it. This is a good selection. This is stronger than last year's selection is.
They broke the code.
I don't know what is it really my theory that once Sweden got that 7th win, you were going to get your act together? Because you got your act together.
Yeah, they're pissed now. They're pissed now, as they should be. As they should be. What do you want to highlight among the songs?
1 second, because we had someone join us late who has a question about Spain.
Okay.
And it looks like this person might be from Spain. So Diego Munez asking, do you think Esa Diva can win Eurovision? We believe it is possible. She will do everything to win.
Diego, my first immediate answer is no. But there's a lot of elements in the song that traditionally have done well in Eurovision. There's a lot of stuff in the performance that have done well historically. She also did mention there's going to be a revamp and changes to the performance. It's hard to tell right now. My first answer is no because it doesn't quite feel original, but they can play a Swedish playbook as it turns out. And let's see how well they lean into that because, yeah, all we have is time to find out.
We have time to find out. My knee-jerk reaction is no. I don't think this could win. I think we've spoken about this on this channel now for 30 minutes onto why this can win. Go back, watch earlier on in the stream. We talked about Spain then. Last night, we talked about Spain as well. And
it's been our heaviest coverage so far out of all the shows.
It's probably the song we've talked about the most. And part of it is just because I know Spanish people. They like it when we talk about they like it when anyone talks about their songs. But I don't have high hopes for this. I really think that if it was 10 years ago, yeah, Spain could win.
I'd even go so far as to say like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
It's not 10 years ago. And I really, truly am disappointed solely because I think that melody is better than the song.
She is better than this song. I agree with that.
And I wish she would have had something better. I honestly think at this point, maybe even just change the song completely.
Wow. Getting a fall from the sky kind of moment? Or
don't even revamp it. Just go ahead and go, you know what?
Just rip it off and then put a new one on.
Eurosong 2016.
But that was a wise decision. Walking on Water was a 1,000 times better than Chameleon, because that Chameleon.
I mean, to be fair, Walking on Water was also a Swedish song. Does Molly Peterson Hammer have anything? Where's she at?
Where's she been? It's been 10 years, Molly.
Molly, where are you at, girl? Pick up the phone.
God, hunger
Spain
will
needs
always be. Hunger will always be.
Spain needs you.
Mhm.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe someone will have a meltdown at Meltfest and go ahead and help Spain out.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nothing stopping
All right.
that.
let's go back and talking about Ireland. I apologize about that. So, if I have to just pick a couple of songs, which is kind of like where we're at right now, I'd say my first option, the first one I'm going to mention is Relta with Fire. It's Celtic. It's beautiful. It's like, it's good. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it has a sound that I feel like we've all wanted to hear from Ireland for a while. I don't know necessarily how competitive it is, but I think it'd be an interesting choice to kind of take it in this direction. Also, because I don't think you've really listened to much of Ireland. Niall, I think is his name. Niall has a song too called Grow, or To Grow. Great. Another fantastic choice. But if I had to pick my first choice in Ireland, I'm going to go Bobby Arlo.
Okay.
I'm going to go Power Play. Like, someone says, Power Play, Dark Flora GC. Yeah, Power Play does feel like a good follow-up to Bambi Thug. I think they've worked together too. Like Bambi's work. Speaking of Bambi, did you listen to the remix that they did on Alina Pasha's song Bad Witch?
No, I did not. What?
Alina Pash has been releasing, you know how like with Brat, there were all these remixes with other artists? Alina Pash did that with her last album. She's releasing all these remixes with other artists. And the one for Bad Witch, it has Bambi on it. It's so good.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're gonna love it. I knowing your taste in music, you're gonna love it. I love Alina Pash, note that. So, I mean, because I saw Bambi's name and had to bring it up. Okay, anyways, Mark says Power Play is the one Ireland. I just hope it's a good live. That's my worry, is how are these gonna be performed live? Because that late studio is
one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's hilarious to look at.
That being said, if we have a situation last year where live there was a clear winner and it just so happened to be the clear winner live was the same as the clear winner in studio for me, good. I think that Power Play would be a good follow-up. It gives us like a fresh take on Irish music that we wouldn't necessarily expect. But at the same time, it's falling in line in a way of, okay, if this is going to be the new leaf in Ireland, if Ireland wants to be the country for the alternatives, let's go ahead and do it, Ireland. Let it work for you instead of bland.
Okay. Yeah, it's important to not go back to bland right now. You're riding the coast that Bambi launched you off of. Keep flying, keep sailing. It's important that you do that.
Yeah. Say Diego Rodriguez says Ireland has backup, so I'm not worried. Agreed.
That's good. I'm really hopeful for them. I'm really happy that they were able to be competitive this time around.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I think the Irish selection is pretty solid. Honestly, I think the week we're heading into now is probably the stronger of the kind of like we're hitting the finals week that we have of last week versus this weekend we have coming up.
It'll be a super Saturday.
A more super Saturday. Hopefully with better results. But yeah, the last one we have to talk about this week is Vidbir.
Ukraine. Yeah.
My beloved. This is a playlist.
So what do we think about Vidbir? Who's highlightable?
Everybody. I can talk about Vidbir for days, baby. It's such a good playlist. Like, I was waiting for Ukraine to show up and just be like, hey, you missed me? I'm like, yeah, of course I missed you. Of course I did. Like, where have you been? Like, let's go. No, Ukraine genuinely has one of the best selections, like always. We have 10 songs here. Of the 10 songs, I wouldn't mind 8 7 or 8 going to Eurovision.
Wow, nice.
That's where I'm living at with Ukraine's playlist right now. More than half of it is so good. But that's just like kind of an overall idea. Do you have like any ones you want to highlight, or like, you know, we'll do the 2 things
like
still.
let's highlight 2 for the moment.
Okay, we'll pick 2.
I do have to give flowers to Zifferblatt this time around.
Baby,
because...
that's my number 1. So
I hated their song last year. I despised it. I know it was your favorite. I couldn't stand it. I was like, this is awful. This year, it is so bright and vibrant, and it brings me to a space which I think they were trying to take me to last year, but with a different melodical method. Yeah, it was a complete 180 for me this year. Complete 180.
Oh no, I'm like heartbroken over here from last year. It's so good, and they're such a good band. All their songs are good. They're really good, guys. Listen to their other stuff, please. I'm so happy I found them last year.
I get it. I get it now.
Oh, God, it's so good. Like the way it mixes sounds in this like all-encompassing space, it really transforms like where you're located at when you listen to it. Like it takes you on a journey, and it's just like just the chord progression, the structure of the song. It low key makes me think of like what is really good about Midwestern emo and like math rock and like Japanese rock music does this too. It's very in that sound space. Like you could, if we take away the vocals and there's no sound, like just instrumental, you could tell me this is by like, I don't know, Pottage, and I would believe you. You could tell me that this is like an old Replacements track that's been revamped and reworked. It's so good. Like it's just, there's so much happening in it. It's one of those things like, this is like the kind of rock music I sit down and put headphones on and just absorb. And like, I have nothing but praise to say about it.
It's
literally one of the best songs of the year.
The song is standing there doing nothing, but it's strong as hell. Like you can just get close to the song and then just feel the impact that it has melodically. I did not think a melody like that I would really lean into, but it gets stuck on me. It gets stuck on me, and then it grows. It grows consistently, which, I mean, with Vidbir songs, they tend to grow, but this has an accelerated growth rate, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm seeing a lot of love as well in the comments here for Birds of Prey. Mark says people are sleeping on Bird of Prey. That is one of the best songs of this year, period.
It sounds like a classic. It sounds like a classic.
If Ukraine sent this and they won, I wouldn't be angry. Let's do it. Let's do it,
Black, baby.
Like, let's go. I don't necessarily think it would win, but I think it could win. Like the way it's so good. Elodie says Vidbir is so good. I have 4 number. I think you say like number 1. I have 4 number. This is not serious. Okay, and then let's see here. Any other? Peter Hadich says Bird of Prey is very good. One more here. Okay, then we have this one here. Bird of Prey is giving me a bit of theater kid vibes. Not in a bad way, though. Agreed. And
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I'm seeing like, yeah. Other ones mentioned, we'll talk about other stuff, but like, yeah, anyone else you want to bring up?
Yes. You didn't bring up your person. You just talked about Zifferblatt. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was my first choice, was Zifferblatt.
Yeah.
So
how about your
that's why I
second?
kind of want to put. Well, they were going to be my second choice because it's my favorite one of this thing. I don't know what to choose. I was like, should I go with, because I love this selection so much. I'm going to go with a little bit of a dark horsey horse here. In my book. Oh, I'm now torn between 3 because I said dark horse.
Well, hey, I mean, we got time, like the show too. We can like, at a later stream, we could actually talk about how these went. But yeah, please.
I am gonna say Sil by DK Intertech.
Okay.
And the reason why is I don't think you're gonna bring that one up.
No, I wasn't. That's not what I was gonna bring up. But please do tell me because it is intriguing.
It has such a post-Soviet gothy sound to it. I can hear this at the goth club. I can feel this at the goth club. This is one of those things where I know exactly where we are in the world when I hear it. I'm like, oh, we're in a former Soviet country. It just has that sound to it. And I don't think we've ever really had that sound at Eurovision or at like a national final at all ever. And so it's like I like I like this soundscape here, and I just want to highlight the fact that like it's something like you would not expect to get at a national final, and it's one that no one's really talking about it. But yeah, like it's one like let's say Mark, talk about Seal. I love the Ukrainian Gothic New Wave. That's exactly what we're getting from this, and it's like it's just like where did this come from? Like I wouldn't expect to have this. I love that we have it here. So yeah, that would be like my second one I would bring up.
Also, to complement what you're saying, a lot of the post-Soviet states that we still have in Eurovision, none of them would go this dank and heavy into that sound. You know, they just don't lean into that very strongly at all anymore. I mean, we might have gotten some flecks of that in earlier Eurovision. If we do, then I don't remember at all. But yeah, if Ukraine does decide to pick that, it would be something very special, very unique, once again.
I don't think it's what Ukraine's going to pick, but I just want to highlight it because I do really enjoy it. I mean, there's other ones on here I really enjoy that I don't think Spain's going to pick. That's, oh my gosh, Spain. Ukraine's going to pick either. But that was kind of what I wanted to choose because I knew you weren't going to pick it.
Do you know what I am going to pick?
I'm going to guess Finka.
You're right. You are so right. The wild card winner, Miss Finka. So, you guys, she had my favorite song in 2023 when she lost to Heart of Tvorchi. When she lost to Tvorchi, that was my favorite song then. She has my favorite song this year too. It's just it people call it rap. It is not rap. That is not rap. She's singing. She's still singing, but it has that kind of like grungy, heavy, hefty, like rhythmic delivery of singing, but it's incredibly traditional. It's fun, but it's not trying to take traditional and make it something kind of like serious, deeply artistic in kind of like in a serious way. It's making it a lot more just kind of fresh and demonstrative of how culture can also be just light and upbeat. I feel so strongly for this song. It is kind of giving like Toyota commercial in a way, like just the sound of it. But it's for me. It's for me. Like I will always rank a song higher if it's for me than if I acknowledge if it's good. So that is for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agreed 100% with that. Baz J says I don't understand how Finka wasn't on the short list. Baby.
She deserved the short list. There's a song or two that I believe don't deserve the short list out of this lineup.
I mean, I can kind of guess which ones you would say don't deserve to be here.
It's fair. Do you have the guess to say it?
I'm guessing you would get rid of Wind of Change.
You'd be right.
Which I like Wind of Change. I don't necessarily love it, but I don't like it. I don't hate it. Like I'd say Wind of Change is the weakest one for me. In this selection. I think you'd also probably get rid of Future Culture.
Future Culture was all right. It was all right.
I really like that song, but I also it's one of those ones that's like only I'm gonna love it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about that one, where it's like I really enjoy this. I think this is just like a kind of song that my friends would make, if that makes sense. And so I really am vibing with it.
It's very garagey kind of feeling. Yeah.
And like they don't have any other singles out. I want to hear more music from them. I think like give it a couple of years, come back, and we can talk about something. But I do enjoy Waste My Time a lot.
Overall, it's a really good lineup. Like I'm not saying cut these guys for Finka, but kind of honestly, in its own fresh way.
Like listening to everything and listening to it on the playlist, everything like makes sense. There's no fat to be trimmed here. It's all meat. It's good.
They all fit. They all fit in the puzzle, you guys.
I'm just looking here because I did see a couple of people bring up Masha. Here we go. Dark Claire.
Yeah, Masha.
Masha's No Time to Cry. I'm obsessed with that haunting melody.
It's good. It's also really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I don't have a ton of critique about it.
I can see her winning.
Masha?
I can see her winning.
It has that quality about it where it kind of promises that a little bit.
I can see her winning Vidbir coming top 10 at Eurovision. Not I don't have like there's nothing about that one that makes me go, oh, this could win Eurovision. But I could see her doing pretty well. Like
getting a Ukrainian result.
Yeah. Like listening to everything, all of this, I would say, if Ukraine for some reason went insane and decided to pick Waste My Time, which I don't think is going to happen, that I think would struggle to qualify. Everything else, though, I feel would comfortably qualify, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Ukraine just knows how to fill a space with unique energy, and they pull it off pretty well. I've never known them to really falter at that, unless it was over Torvald time. But even then, it wasn't that. I would not call it that dingy of a song.
Like, no matter what Ukraine chooses, I feel like they're gonna make it. Because like, and then it's like one of those things where like, looking at this, ABA Deem, I saw someone mention that was one of their favorites. Also, excellent song that would qualify and that would do well. That would come top 10. You know what I mean? DKA, Energetic. I'm sorry.
Energetic.
That would probably at the highest 15th. My first thought, we're getting more of a Gotha result with that one. I think it would qualify. I just don't think it would do anything higher than like 15 at the absolute highest.
Yeah, Kaya could qualify. Kaya would qualify.
Yeah,
but I also am seeing a 15th with that song.
Kaya, but with Kaya, the basement is 15.
The basement is 15. Yeah, it's still eventful
15.
enough to potentially
Highest
reach
is like
top
10.
Yeah,
To me, Kaya would come between 10 and 15. Masha, again, I could see her. I can't see her winning, but I could see her doing really well, easily top 10.
Come to think of it, I don't exactly see a winner among all of these songs. Not quite a winner, but I do see like 9 top 10s potentially, you know?
See, Krylana would stay true. It's a solid pop tune. It would not trouble my top 10, but I think it could do top 10 at Eurovision.
It has that accessibility, I think, that people would really lean into, which Ukraine doesn't like invest a ton of all the time, but accessibility is typically good at Eurovision.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna just put it's been pointed out by Dark Flare, Ukraine has a great staging team too. Any of these will get the right atmosphere to make the song shine.
Name a bad Ukrainian staging. Name a bad one.
Be my guest.
I loved it.
I thought it was fun, but it's their weakest staging.
I probably would end up agreeing with that. Yeah.
I like Be My Guest.
I
think
agree.
People are too harsh on that song. I think it's a good song. I think it's performed well. It's just kind of the staging that felt like the most. What are we doing here? What's the point of this? But
that's kind of how you stage a World Cup song.
But that was also 2011 or 2012. That was 2012. It was okay to send a World Cup song back then.
It was, yeah.
Let me see here. I'm just looking at other ones. Melody. That's accessible pop. I think
it's accessible, but less accessible, I think.
I really like it a lot, actually. Like I was like,
I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it.
Because these like all of the songs that we're talking about here are all on my main playlist for the year. So like the stuff that's not my Eurovision Strictly playlist. And that I was listening to, I'm like, oh, what is this from? I'm like, oh god, this is a Vidbir song. I thought it was just like a pop song I'd heard somewhere else. Vlad Sharif is probably the weakest song. And even then, that would still qualify, I feel like.
It's not weak in the sense that like it is bad or cacophonous. It's not that kind of bad. It's just not trying to be stronger than the others.
There's nothing about it that stands out to me.
Because you're comparing it to a strong ass lineup.
I have covered my face in ink.
Oh my god.
Why did no one tell me? My pen's leaking. Anyways, I now have ink all over me. At least it's pink. I think that it's not bad. Like you said, it's not bad. It just there's nothing about it that really feels competitive.
Yeah, it's kind of just hanging there. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mute it or skip it if it were on my playlist, but I did not add it.
And then I've already said I think Birds of Prey could win Eurovision, but hey.
Oh my god. I get it now. I get it. It took me a year because I'm sorry, last year was abysmal. But
I'm just looking at.
Yeah. Is it for Black? I feel like
Finca comfortably won the wild card.
Which is why I think she might have a chance of taking it for Ukraine. She might.
Yeah.
And I would be happy. I would be really happy with it. Because Ukraine, they don't try to have fun like that anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I love their resilience songs. I love their resilience music, but Shum, it's not even following the Shum playbook. It's a completely different thing. Darkflare says, I'm pretty confident their 100% qualification streak will continue, without a doubt, this year. They have many options. It's not happening. They're not being compromised.
Not at all. And then Corel says, I always wanted Belarus to bring us post-punk, but at least Ukraine this year has one of the songs in the style of Vidbir. I think I know what Belarusian band you're talking about. Like, I don't remember what they're called, but I think I've heard stuff by them. So we talked about everything that's happening next week as far as competition goes, but Peter just brought me some happy news. Let's also say that on Thursday we will listen to the DMGP songs.
Yes, let's also say that on Thursday we will be. Hey, who knows? We don't know. Like, it could be a really good lineup this year.
If DMGP is better than Melodi Grand Prix in Norway, yeah. I already have one DMGP playlist. Give me a second one.
Bro. Oh my goodness.
I wish Igor still came over here. He's taking a nap. He's behind
I can't wait to listen to DMGP. It'll be motivational at the very least for me. Motivational for me to get off of my butt and make use of my life.
God. So yeah, anyways, that was our thoughts, or were our thoughts about everything happening. We went on for almost 2 hours, Jordan.
Wow.
It was a very long stream.
Hey, Super Saturdays need more dialogue. That's just what happens.
But yeah, next week we'll be having I'm just looking at the calendar for next week because we can kind of look at the results from Malta, the result from Ireland, Ukraine, Finland, Latvia. I don't want next week to be a bad Super Saturday.
Next week, it needs to be a good Super Saturday. For me personally, it needs to be a good Super Saturday. I have too much hanging on.
It looks like a certain country's giving us their artist next. Why did I think Ruin Your Shoulder was Igor on my shoulder, even they look nothing alike? I was like, I don't feel him on me. Why is cat? Ignore me. We'll get the songs from Denmark. Sweden will disappoint us once again. And we'll have the first semi-final Song Vikepnen. Oh, so you weren't here last week, so you didn't even talk about Song Vikepnen at all.
No, but I will be happy to next week because I do have thoughts. But we might be in a state of emotional turmoil exactly a week from right now because of Saturday. Maybe. We'll see. Because yesterday wasn't great. Yesterday was not great.
I don't feel like Finland is going to disappoint me that much.
Probably not.
I don't think that knowing the top 3 televote at Latvia is making me nervous.
It's making me nervous, but they also have jury.
True. The jury
Malta,
might
I'm a
say
little
the
nervous.
Latvians.
Malta,
I don't know what to do with Malta. I'll be nervous. I don't feel very strong emotions towards Malta. Iceland, I'll be fine. I can't really think of anything happening there.
Lithuania, I'll be fine. Like Lithuania, Lithuania's been good trajectory.
Lithuania, I trust them. Sweden is going to disappoint me, so I'm not even going to have expectations for Sweden. Ireland, we'll see what happens. I think Ireland won't disappoint me too much. Like, they'll pick something, but they won't pick something bad because they only really have like one bad song. But yeah, we'll
I
be
wouldn't
joined
even
by one
really
other
thought that.
person
Mhm.
next
Yeah.
week. And next week, I think like what I have planned so far should be interesting for us. But yeah, we'll be there. Don't forget to join us. Don't forget to watch other things.
We'll have more articles coming out in the following weeks, you guys, because we
This
want
week
to explain the national finals to folks as
we've
well.
got a lot of articles coming out this week. I know for
Yep.
sure we've got at least like 2, and one of them is very, very interesting. I've been given a little preview of it. So yeah, don't forget to join us. Check out EurovisionFam.com for all the articles and just keep up to date with us. It's fun there. And follow us on all the social media places. You know, we're here, we're there, we're everywhere as Eurovision Fam. Don't forget to like the stream and subscribe as well. We will see you guys again next week, and bye.
Bye. Una diva valiente, poderosa.